I'd like to request our President, Mr. Siddharth Deshmukh, to give his keynote. Just giving a quick brief about Siddharth. Mr. Siddharth Deshmukh is fourth and current president of Indo-Japan Business Council. He is also one of the founding members of Indo-Japan Business Council. So when our first president, Mr. Yashwant Gharpureji, started this Indo-Japan Business Council, Siddharth San was invited, and with other members, other Life and Petron members, the organization started. So it's a decade-long association of Siddharth San with the organization. He's also a serial entrepreneur. He went to Japan at the beginning, at the start of the year 2000, and since then he is doing business with Japan. He is also founder of Shimbi Labs, which is a boutique IT solutions company, and they serve companies from India, Japan, and other Southeast Asian countries. Another small piece of thing is that he fell in love with Japan so much that his better half is also from Japan. So we can see that the rich knowledge, both cultural as well as business, that Siddharth San possesses is really a big asset for the organization. So with this introduction, I'd like to request Siddharth San to deliver his keynote.
Hello, everyone. Good morning, namaste, and konnichiwa. My name is Siddharth Deshmukh, and I'm a current president of IGBC. It's really a long wait. After 2 years, finally the day is here, and we are here with you. Konnichiwa, Pune. First of all, let me thank His Highness Consul General Dr. Fukuhara Yasutaka, Consulate General of Japan in Mumbai, for supporting in co-organizing Konnichiwa Pune 2020 also. It's really a long wait. After 2 years, finally the day is here. After that, thank you very much to His Highness Mr. Sanjay Kumar Verma, Ambassador of India to Japan, for accepting our invitation to deliver the special keynote in Pune. Thank you for also thank you to Mr. Masahide Sato, Deputy Consul General, Consulate General of Japan in Mumbai, for accepting our invitation to deliver special opening keynote. I also thank Mr. Tauchi Noritaka, Consulate General of Japan in Mumbai, for helping us put together this show. For accepting our invitation to deliver the special keynote. Next, I would like to also give my sincere thanks to 60+ esteemed speakers, panelists, authors, and performers who will be with us over next three days. I also thank when I first time visited Japan after graduating in early 2000, I felt impressed and passionate about Japan and the people of Japan. Years passed, I lived in Japan, traveled to Japan many times, started a business with Japan, and soon Japan became my second home. So it was natural for me to think about contributing to the Indo-Japan relationship when the Indo-Japan Business Council conceptualized in 2011. I got opportunity to contribute beyond individual efforts. I lived in Japan, traveled to Japan. Today, Indo-Japan Business Council, IGBC, is apex bilateral chamber synergizing India-Japan engagement in business, trade, commerce, education, and culture. IGBC is continually working to enhance India-Japan business and economic engagement with our pan-India presence. Konnichiwa Pune is one such initiative by IGBC. Individual efforts. Konichiwa Pune is a 3 days festival by Indo-Japan Business Council. The festival aimed to bring people, businesses, and educational institutes together. Konichiwa Pune seeks to promote trade, culture, and academic ties between India and Japan in friendly festival manner. India is the fifth largest. Japan is the fifth largest investor. Japan has contributed over USD 35 billion in cumulative investment since 2000 in India. When it comes to India, we are ranked as a top country for potential business expansion in midterms for the Japanese companies. As per the survey conducted by the Japan Bank and International Cooperation, JBIC in 2019, and as per the latest survey of a JETRO and Japanese embassy in India, India is a home to 1,454 Japanese companies. Our current partnership will further expand through the India-Japan Industrial Competitiveness Partnership and Supply Chain Resilience Initiative, especially after the COVID-19 pandemic. In fact, Japan is the world's only country that currently has 12 dedicated country-focused industrial township across 9 states in India. This Japanese Industrial Township, JITS, offers facilities such as special Japan days for translation, interpretation, and facilitation support. World-class infrastructure, facilities, residential cluster, and incentives for the Japanese companies. Japan and India have a special relationship that is based on business, people, and government interaction. India's massive market offers tremendous investment prospectus for the Japan, while Japan's position as a powerhouse for the manufacturing and automation innovation complements the India's rapidly expanding industrial and technological capabilities. Japan has been a key trade and investment partner for us as we move beyond COVID-19. We anticipate that this special association will grow even stronger. On the other hand, Japan is also looking at India for its vast young population to help Japan's growing older population. Japan needs young people to help them in healthcare, manufacturing, service industry, and certainly IT. By 2030, Japan will need almost 600,000 IT professionals. That's huge. A prominent Indian information technology companies firms and has long anticipated the Japan's recent move to acknowledge the need to welcome Indian professionals. An immediate need of 200,000 IT professionals is being necessitated due to the rapid technology innovations in the country's societal demands. Japan wants to fill this gap and is looking towards India's assistance in the IT space. So those are the opportunities. But when it comes to the breaking into the Japanese market, Indian IT service companies haven't made many inroads. That's a little sad. In 2020, India accounted for less than 2% of a software export to Japan in the market, which is an estimate to the 100 billion US dollar market. While Tier 1 and Tier 2 companies from India already had a presence in Japan, there is enough scope for small companies and niche businesses. Significant opportunities would be in automation, manufacturing, digital services, blockchain, artificial intelligence, data analytics, and IoT. While opportunities are there, it is essential to examine the questions like, so what happened? What prevented Japan from attracting the talent effectively from India? While the Japanese language is one significant constraint, but what are other challenges? We understand the language is a challenge, but there could be many other challenges that is preventing Indian companies entering into the Japanese market. IGBC wished to examine them and work with all the stakeholders to overcome them. and make the India and Japan relationship stronger. IJBC will work together with government and non-governmental agencies, industries and business to answer those tough questions. One such initiative by IJBC started in the beginning of last year is to create a most extensive verified database of bilingual experts in Japanese and Indian language and in Indian languages. This initiative will benefit the businesses and industries to find the right talent with a bilingual expertise. But this is not all. IJBC aims to take many such initiatives which will help strengthen the business and trade relationship for a small and medium-sized businesses on both sides. COVID-19 is subsiding and the world is once again looking forward to new beginning. I believe in the new world order, India-Japan ties will play a significant role. IJBC will play its part. I hope you all will enjoy various sessions at Konnichiwa Pune 2021 virtual over next 3 days. I once again thanks to all who help us to put up this event together. Also accept our sincere apology for having some technical glitch in this morning, which we anticipating that it might be possible during these 3 days we may face some problems, so please bear with us. And but nevertheless, let's enjoy the session, because of remote event we have a immense speakers lineup which otherwise was impossible. So please stay tuned for 3 days and enjoy the different session. Thank you very much.
Just quickly share a couple of things about IJBC and IJBC's plan on action. Couple of things we are trying to do is to build a bilingual directory where anybody who knows Japanese and any other language, they will be there. Going forward, we will create a verified list of that, so that whenever somebody is looking to do anything between India and Japan, whether some Japanese wants to do something with India or some Indian wants to do something with Japan, they will have a ready reckoner where they should go for at least for solving the language issues. That is one. We are also creating, so JETRO already has a huge list of companies. So you have close to 1,500 companies registered in India who are from Japan, and they have establishment. If you look at their individual establishment in various cities, it's almost 5,000. So it's not really a less number. There is an increase of 10%. There is a 10% increase in number of those companies in last 5 years, which is also quite good. And we hope that post-pandemic world, in the post-pandemic world, we will be able to see more people coming to India. There will be more trades generated between both these countries. We will probably be able to cut down on our deficits of that trade deficits that we have with Japan. Yeah, so Siddharth-san is again available to comment on the future vision of IJBC. So let's have Siddharth-san come again and speak on that.
Thanks, Abhishek. So I think I was told that I lost some questions, or there was some comments. So about future plans for the IJBC that today I want to discuss in a brief before we close the session. IJBC being a neutral platform and bilateral chamber of commerce between India and Japan, it is our goal and responsibility to bring the authentic information which is necessary for businesses, which is necessary for the student community, which is necessary for people in industry to carry forward in their plan. And what we realized over the period is that information flow is slow or sometimes not comprehensive. So IGBC will focus first on making sure that everybody get information handily. We have a plan to set up some chapters or some presence all over India, which right now we do, but we don't have in some places we don't have a local presence. So we will see that how we can increase that, as well as we will also setting up different committees such as IT committee, automobile committee, environmental committee. We also are looking into setting up a think tank which will think and propose different policies and activities that may improve and speed up the India-Japan relationship. So some of these activities are already underway, and some of them you will hear from us time to time over the period. Next year, being a special year for India-Japan diplomatic relationship, so we are planning multiple events which will be available virtually live also, and we will be doing some physical events also as the COVID situation improves. So that makes us a information hub, and then we will see how actually we can make a difference and bring more Japanese businesses in India and help Indian businesses to go in Japan by the way of introductions, by the way of bringing delegations, by the way of having different opportunities for people to come together and network together and exchange the thoughts. We would like to also promote academia, the research, student exchange, university tie-ups. Of course, all this will happen when we understand each other's culturally. So definitely there will be culture focused programs also, small and big. Konnichiwa Pune will return next year too. So because we think this is the right event to promote and bring everyone together. So I think I answered the comments about the future plans of IGBC. You will hear more from us. Thank you, Abhishek.
So yes, I believe post-pandemic world has taught us one thing, that you can do events and those can be online also. And going forward, there is a possibility that many people will go for hybrid. So this is a hybrid experimentation we are doing for Konnichiwa Pune. I believe next year it will be much bigger and much better also.